And it's being discussed now between you and me. So let's start with that last proposal first. How does that binding code of ethics differ from that code of conduct that was adopted by the Supreme Court in November?
Well, the Supreme Court, there's no enforcement mechanism, and they've never used it. It's just there. It's like best rules, best practices. And they haven't, Clarence Thomas, I'm not exactly sure what the rules encompass, but I'm sure they wouldn't permit somebody to buy you a vehicle and hundreds of thousands of dollars vehicle and take you on these trips like he's done and give them tickets to events that you can't otherwise get that cost tens of thousands of dollars and not report it. They're supposed to report it, they haven't done it, but there's no sanction if they don't do it. If you don't have sanctions, you don't have rules, or you get a rule you can't murder anybody unless there's jail time, and it's no good. You've got to have teeth in the law. There's no teeth in that Supreme Court code.
When it comes to term limits, the point, some would argue, of lifetime appointments is to ensure fairness. So if there are term limits, do you think the court would have less independence? The justices would be more susceptible to being swayed at all?
Well, I think they're swayed right now because they have lifetime appointments, and I think they've forgotten the whole idea of maybe why they were put there, although I'm not sure if Clarence Thomas ever understood it. He holds Thurgood Marshall's seat, and he is as close to Thurgood Marshall as I am to Mars. It's just absurd, the distance of the people, and that seat was supposed to be for somebody who articulated and supported issues concerning civil rights and fairness to people who have been disenfranchised or are not allowed to be part of what would be a more perfect union. So, I don't know that the shorter terms, at least they know that they have a replacement, and the replacement might have a more current thought. Now, you could appoint people like that Trump has appointed, who the Federal Society have recommended, who don't think as people, I think, of their generation do, but they're old heads in younger bodies. Kavanaugh, and he's probably in his 50s, I think, but he thinks like somebody who's in his 80s. He's got a mentality of the 50s in time, calendar, not in a chronological